Lobster season is about to open up here in Southern California, and leave it at Friedman Adventures and ProMart. I have a live show for you September the 17th. That is Wednesday evening at 4 p.m. You'll be able to ask questions and learn lots about lobster hoop netting. Get up to speed on the great season ahead with Friedman Adventures, September the 17th, 4 o'clock, and you bet there's going to be some giveaways.
Hey everybody, Phil Friedman here at 22nd Street Landing. That's the Amigo. We are going to be on board the Amigo for a Friedman Adventures trip October the 5th through the 7th, right here from 22nd Street Landing. The Bluefin are biting, the sea bass are biting, and you can be part of the next Friedman Adventures video by joining us on board the Amigo. 657-227-6459. Send me a text before it's too late.
Time is indeed running out, not only on the Amigo trip, but Tuesday on September the 23rd, we'll be leaving from Seaforest Sport Fishing in San Diego, California, on a great two-day trip on board the Apollo. Only 2 spots left. If you want them, send me a text ASAP, 657-227-6459.
Look at that slob.
One of the boys from the Sport Boat Amigo got one of those lifelike plastics, drop it over the side right there at the docks at 22nd Street Landing, and caught that beautiful spotted bait. Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventures family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. With Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It's a little breezy this morning. Normally, we don't have that. Red sky in the morning. Sailor, take warning. I don't know if that's going to be the situation. The weather's been great offshore. It's been really, really beautiful. And some big bluefin tuna are joining the party. We're going to tell you all about that. Limit style BFT fishing for the boats here in Southern California. And I'm talking about from San Diego all the way up here into the LA Orange County area. It's been really great. Mexico continued good fishing down there in Ensenada. Cedros has been fantastic. We're seeing some white sea bass around town. And of course, our islands have been pretty active also. Tonight, right here on Friedman Adventures, right here on the YouTube channel, we're going to go live at 4 o'clock from our home base, 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, because lobster season is going to open up later this month. It's right on the horizon, and we're going to have Brian Sanchez from ProMar along with us in a live presentation. He's going to cover how to hoop net, how to catch bigger lobster, how to get your limit, all the regs you need to know. And of course, he's going to give away some free stuff tonight on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, 4 o'clock. Don't miss it. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good or what? You know, we're supposed to get some thunder, some lightning, and some rain, mostly around 10 o'clock tonight here in Southern California. We're supposed to get a considerable amount of rain, at least for us here in SoCal. We're going to get a little bit of rain, but don't get all excited about this tropical storm Mario. The water's too cold here for it to generate any really fierce winds, but we could get those thunderstorms and rain, and it looks like we might get a shower or two here during the daytime, and we might also see some rain, especially overnight. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate all your great support. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy, stinking, deplorable little bell. You will be notified when there's new content. By the way, the Tootsie Report says the water is still nice and warm. I like that. And these birds are getting really active here all of a sudden. You can also follow us over there on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. 2 charters. We mentioned them to you at the beginning of the show. If you want to get on, 657-227-6459. Send me a text, and I'll get back to you and get you signed up. That should be a lot of fun. Yeah, these birds are really starting to fly around a little bit. All right, let's jump into it with you and talk a little bit about Mexico. First of all, down at Cedro, still very good yellowtail action going on down there. We continue to see most of the fish being taken on the surface iron, but there are fish also on the yo-yo iron down there. Really good calico bass fishing, hits on the white sea bass and halibut from time to time. Cedros has been really good down there in San Quintin. We continue to see pretty good fishing going on down there with regard to yellowtail. Tons of rockfish, good calico bass fishing. And in Ensenada, we continue to see those barracuda flurries around Todos Santos Islands. A few yellowtail around town, not as much as there once was, but there's a little bit of yellowtail in that neck of the woods. And also, we continue to see really excellent rock fishing. But offshore, the bluefin tuna bite is what's driving everybody. And Carlos Cortez up there out of Popotla has been doing really, really well. Popotla is just a 15-minute drive south of Rosarito Beach. And down there, Carlos really is a fishy guy. Fishes hard. He's been doing good on the bluefin tuna. Trolled Mad Max style lures have been a great way to get it done. And also throwing those tuna riot poppers. When you roll up on a foam or a bluefin tuna, keep that in mind. They work so well. Highly recommend you add a couple to your arsenal right away. It's really, really important to have some tuna riot poppers on hand. Time to talk bluefin tuna, and I don't know if it can get any better. You know, there's been some small fish in this bite, 10 to 40 pound fish, but all of a sudden, here come the really big fish, and that is exciting news. The bite can be best described as mostly a plunker kind of bite during the daylight hours. Once in a while, you'll get into a full-on ripper, but most of the time, you got 2 going, 3 going, maybe 6 going, maybe you're dry. That kind of a bite. That means you're choosing a good hot bait. You're dropping your fluorocarbon down to get that bite, especially when you watch and see what size fish are being taken. Then you can drop it down, and man, that hot bait and changing it regularly is so very important to your success. Then you go into the nighttime bite, and that's when it's been absolutely full speed, great fishing on the iron at night. It has been absolutely fantastic. Like jigs in the 180 to 240 range have been good. The weather's been great. Some of these fish are 100 feet down the water column. You're listening to the captain for direction on when to drop and how far to drop. You got to pay very strict attention to that. But as I told you, I like what we're seeing on this bigger great fish, the Polaris Supreme. Limits of bluefin tuna, and the vast majority in the 60 to 120 pound class. You gotta love that. Sea Adventure 80 got into some good grade fish. Nice bite for them with 60 to 150 pound fish on that trip. And then you have other boats that are getting that mix in terms of size. Small fish, medium fish, big fish, kind of like that for the Legend. Limits on the Legend, limits on the Pacifica. And they had 5 white sea bass to go along with that. You know, you get your limits early on a 2-day trip, and it opens up all kinds of other doors and options, which is great. Love seeing that. Islander limits of bluefin tuna. Constitution limits of bluefin tuna out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach, California. They had absolutely gorgeous weather. Threw on 100 bluefin tuna and a couple of yellowtail to go along with that. Our friend Jeff Lingle is down there at 140 miles below the border, so down below San Quintin. In fact, he may be even further south than that right now. But he had beautiful weather. He said 6-7 knots of breeze. There's a storm, he said, off Guerrero Negro, but it's far enough offshore where it's creating absolutely no trouble at all. Jeff had limits of bluefin tuna down in that other zone. Really good fishing for him. And they had a 70-pound BFT. They had a 65-pound BFT. A lot of their fish in that 30 to 50-pound range like that. They had 4 yellowfin tuna to go along with it, a Dorado, 6 yellowtail, and they're in on the beach fishing for white sea bass right now down the Baja coast. As I said, about 140 miles. I think Jeff a lot of times is in the live chat on the morning briefing, and he can correct yours truly if I am wrong. And you can ask him a question should you like to do that. I always love it when Jeff Lingle joins us. And Jeff, thanks for your kindness and generosity. I received your donation, and we will make sure that goes to some good people down in Mexico this weekend. Anybody else out there want to do the same, you can Zelle or Venmo me some funds, $5, $10, $20, whatever you want to do, and we'll make sure it goes to good use this weekend when we are in Mexico with the dog and with our dear friend Chuck Zimmer and his son Charlie from Z Custom Rods. We're going to have a great time down there, and we're going to bring you along for the ride. You know that there's a lot of great stuff in Mexico for you, and we're going to open up some of those adventures for you, as well as kind of see it through the eyes of Charlie, a young man, first time to Mexico. That'll be fun to see Mexico for the first time through his eyes, in addition to all the other mischief we'll get into when we're down there. So great stuff, no question about it. Great bluefin tuna fishing. Make sure you have that variety of tackle. Now there's some big fish that have entered into the picture, so now you're going to want to tackle up and be ready for that. All right, long range. Let's talk about long range right now. The Royal Polaris went out to Alijos Rocks, and man, the fish that they saw, yellowfin tuna, 100 to 140 pound yellowfin tuna. Man, they put on one heck of a show. Guys were fishing with 100-pound, and it wasn't enough. Not that they couldn't stop the yellowfin tuna, but they couldn't stop the sharks. The sharks mauled just about every fish that they tried to get on board out there at Alijos Rocks. Shark headaches for sure for the Royal Polaris. And incidentally, they're having a great trip and do such a great job on the Royal Polaris. But when the sharks show up, man, the taxman, and I'm not talking about Tim Marquez, the taxman really can create lots of problems. The Intrepid with very good yellowfin tuna fishing. Now, some of that YFT on the beach is smaller grade, and by that I mean 40 to 70 pounds. So that's why the Royal Polaris went outside looking around, trying to get some of that bigger grade yellowfin tuna. Independence had good yellowfin tuna fishing yesterday to start out their 7-day trip. Really good, and they found a nice big Dorado. In fact, the Royal Polaris also found a couple of kelps on the way out to the rocks that had some big flatheads on them. So long range still going along very well. That shark problem at Alijos Rocks, what a pain in the neck, no doubt about that. All right, let's get you up here into the Southern California area on this beautiful morning. Let me show you that. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow, absolutely beautiful. And I mentioned it's a little breezy, not bad at all, but there is a little bit of a breeze in the air. And now, you know, you can make the case that there is no red sky, so sailors don't have to take warning. All right, let's talk islands. Coronado Islands down there in that area. We're picking some yellows. Not anything wide open. There's plenty of calico bass and rockfish and whitefish, sheephead, that kind of stuff down there. Should the yellows not bite, at times you can get a yellowtail bite down there, and a lot of big grade yellows zooming around the islands right now. So remember, pull hard on those fish. Many times when you're fishing bait, you've got to get it down to 25-pound fluorocarbon to get a bite, and sometimes you're in some bad neighborhoods, rocky areas that those yellows are so adept at running you into those rocks and sawing you off. So pull hard and get those fish turned around as soon as you can. A little bit of yellowtail. Wouldn't surprise me to see a big hit. Now, some guys are going offshore like the San Diego did, kind of in that local range. Those guys leave in the morning, come back the very same evening, and out of C4 sport fishing, the San Diego had 6 bluefin tuna. Guys are kind of bouncing between the islands and offshore. We've been seeing a lot of fish. In fact, the San Diego said they saw good amount of fish. I mean, if it would have gone on the bite, they would have had a heck of a day on board the San Diego. But it's just, for some reason, very finicky and not chewing all that well. We'll keep our eyes on that offshore full day range also for you. Out there at San Clemente Island, there's good calico bass fishing, occasional big yellowtail and halibut and white sea bass. We get you to Catalina Island. We've got that good variety, but the game fish are not cooperating all that well. We catch a few yellows there. There's some barracuda. There's decent calico bass fishing on most days, but some days are very slow. Whenever you're fishing bass at the island, especially now when they're not biting that well, 12, 15-pound fluorocarbon, good hot bait will do it for you. The El Patron heads out there every single morning of every single day. Long Beach sport fishing. Really a great ride and a great crew on the El Patron. You can join them by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Highly recommend you do that. Up there in the Channel Islands, our dear friend Daniel Hadaway is already underway this morning on his halibut special. We are hoping that Daniel's going to have a big day. He'll be staying in touch with us all morning long, and if anything happens, I will break the news to you. And of course, tomorrow and subsequent days, Daniel will be back out again on the island, spirit fishing rockfish and fishing for halibut and a lot of other species on the beach up there in the Channel Islands. The coast is what I mean to say. We're seeing the gentlemen pick off some pretty good bass days. It's slowed up here for the last 24 hours. I don't know if that's a blip on the radar, conditions deteriorated a little bit, or maybe it's coming to an end. Not sure about that, but we'll keep our eyes on it. They've had some barracuda on the coast and also excellent lingcod and rock fishing for all the Channel Island boats, with still the possibility. It was only a couple days ago when the new Hustler had limits of white sea bass. That is 3 fish per angler. Really great hits on the white sea bass, just lacks consistency. We'll keep our eyes on that for you very closely, and hoping that Daniel on the island spirit will do well today on the halibut. 805-676-3474, or go to VenturaSportFishing.com to get on the island spirit. I know you're going to love that for sure. We'll ride you up to, well, we mentioned Santa Barbara with good lingcod fishing yesterday. Rockfish abound up there. Also, as we get you up to Avila Beach, Morro Bay, excellent fishing going on up there on rockfish. And of course, as we ride you up a little bit further to San Francisco, they've had extraordinarily great fishing, and it's continuing. Lovely Martha sport fishing. Limits yesterday on the stripers, the striped bass biting full speed. They had a couple of halibut to go along with that. Offshore, there's still some albacore roaming around if you get a weather window, and great lingcod and rockcod offshore also. You just need that weather window. When it's calm and you can get out there, you can make all kinds of other things happen up there out of San Francisco, California. All right, let's talk half and 3/4 day. Picking at the bass just about everywhere, not wide open by any stretch of the imagination. We get you down to San Diego, and they're catching sheephead and rockfish. I mean, the Dolphin the other day with John Ho on board and a group of other great anglers had a mix of different rockfish. That's continuing. Sculpin rockfish, a few bass here and there, and occasional yellowtail still being taken by the local boats out of Seaforth and Fisherman's and Point Loma. All those guys. We ride you up the coast, Oceanside, same kind of a situation there where we're catching rockfish and catching some bass. Same thing up there around Dana Wharf sport fishing, releasing quite a few smaller sand bass, smaller calico bass, keeping a few, and also the sculpin and the rockfish are helping to fill in nicely. The Victory had some pretty good calico bass fishing here recently, and the Monte Carlos also had that kind of hit and miss on the bass, falling back on sculpin and rockfish. Native Sun has been doing really well on their trips. They continue to catch a few halibut, they continue to catch rockfish and sculpin, and they do their very best to make it happen on the bass. And there's a good amount of bonito also thrown in there out there out of Marina del Rey. Mostly bottom fish right now, but you do catch a few bass from time to time. In the Southern California surf this beautiful Wednesday morning, we continue to see some outstanding fishing going on. And I got to tell you, and I got to send you down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They do such a great job. They're giving away a free custom surf fishing rod every single month. You just have to buy their ruler. After that, you're in. There's been some good fishing down there around the Huntington Beach, Dog Beach area, around the pier. We see some pretty good corbina fishing. Here at the tower, there were some spot fitting croaker biting. I haven't heard anything new on that. I don't know if guys are keeping a lid on it or it's just not biting, but there's been a little bit of yellowfin croaker there. And we've seen a little bit of smaller bar perch, smaller leopard shark. Same thing here in Surfside, California. And then we get you up there to the area around Long Beach. They've picked off an occasional halibut, not all that much, but a little bit. Hey, what's up, baby? We got a visitor here on the morning briefing. We gotta love it. So good stuff. And then once again, we continue to see pretty good fishing up there in the Santa Monica Bay. In fact, that's probably where the bite is the best right now. We're seeing some good corbina fishing up there in that neck of the woods. The corbina have been biting really good there around the Topaz Rock Jetty, perhaps even a little bit better up there around El Porto and El Segundo area, where it's been pretty darn good fishing. All right, my friends. Good morning, my friend. How's it going?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, brother.
Glad you made the morning briefing this morning.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful out here,
It's
man.
so nice.
Out of all the people in the world, just us are right here.
I know, right?
Yeah, and this is beautiful.
We're blessed.
I'm loving it.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, brother.
You too.
Thanks.
All right, great people down here on the beach as always. You can't beat it, and he's right. Look at this. We're the only guys down here this morning. I mean, how can you be more blessed than that? All right, heading off to Mexico this weekend, but before that happens, tonight, live at 4 o'clock from 22nd Street Landing, Pro Mar and Friedman Adventures putting on one heck of a lobster seminar. It's going to be great. And don't forget, you can ask questions in the live chat. 4 o'clock tonight. Don't miss it on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel live. And really looking forward to bringing you that. And then, of course, we'll be heading down to Mexico for the weekend and taking you along on that adventure also. All right, my friends, have a great one. Take care. And I hope to see you really, really soon.